I think we should be live. I don't know if any of my technology is working, so I will apologise if you can hear budgies. I'm hoping you can. Either way, I can talk loud enough. So, I should be in the Whippet Wonders Facebook group, and today I'm talking about supporting separation anxiety and using other concepts to support separation anxiety. So, if you're here now and you have any questions, you can comment as we go along. And if you have a separation anxiety dog, let me know in the comments. So this will be recorded. Can watch it back later if you want. Assuming that it's recorded okay. Technology is great, isn't it? I feel like I've spent a week fixing one thing, then having to do something else, and then that fix needs to be the whole thing. So I should be well and truly into it. So let's get started. This won't be like a super long one today. I know some of them I chat for quite a long time and I chat quite a lot, but for this today, I'm going to try and keep it short. 20 minutes is my goal. We'll see. So, separation anxiety is something I've talked about before. There are a lot of resources in the group for separation anxiety. We know that we don't want to distract them with food. We want to use gradual desensitization to get them more confident with being home alone. So, I'm not going to talk a huge amount about how we train separation anxiety because I do have lots of resources for that already. What I want to talk about is why sometimes that approach alone doesn't always get us the results we're looking for. So I've seen very often people say you just need to do this desensitization approach and you will get the results you're looking for with a separation anxiety dog. However, having lived with a separation anxiety dog for many years, previously, I know that's not always strictly true. When we look at things as just a behavior that's a problem and how to fix it, sometimes we miss other stuff. And we can miss other really important stuff that might be going on for that dog. So what do I mean by that? Well, I had Arthur for 4 years, 3 years, nearly 4 years. And he had separation anxiety. He developed it quite young. And I know that we did a lot of the gradual desensitization, but for us, it didn't work immediately, and we had to do a lot of other stuff. What is that other stuff? It is disengagement and frustration tolerance. Disengagement and frustration tolerance are really important skills for a dog with separation anxiety to learn. Because what it does is it helps them feel, frustration tolerance and disengagement help them to switch off from a big emotion that they might be feeling. And when we're dealing with separation anxiety dogs, we're not usually just dealing with a dog who's anxious about you being gone. There is usually at least a degree of an element of frustration and a dog who is unable to sort of let go. They know you've gone, they're feeling this rush of emotion, and they can't seem to come down always. If we look at it just from gradual desensitization, we might be missing that these are dogs who need some support with handling their emotions and feeling like they can handle situations when their emotions do get high. So frustration tolerance is simply your dog being able to handle that feeling of, I want that now, but then realizing that they can't always get it now and that escalating a response doesn't get them it. And then disengagement is their ability to switch off from something that is interesting. So you might find for some of you, you have a separation anxiety dog who struggle to switch off from different situations. So maybe they fixate on other people, maybe they can't switch off if you separate on a walk. I do hear this a lot where if you're walking together, they're fine, but as soon as one of you walks away, that's where a problem can start. So what we need to do is teach these dogs that frustration tolerance is something they can learn, and that disengaging from things they might be a bit locked onto can also help massively. So how can we do this with our dogs? Well, we're going to do training. We are going to do different exercises. I hope you can't hear those budgies, to help them understand that all of these things are worthwhile. And we're not going to use any aversives, as in we're not going to punish them physically or verbally. We're going to teach them that self-control is a choice that they can make themselves in that frustration tolerance and disengagement realm. So What exercises can we do? Might be even less than 20 minutes. What exercises can we do? We can do doggy zen, self-control with food. This is a video I post a lot of Arkle doing, where I have my hand out full of food and he learns not to go for that food. We start this in very small steps with a handful of food to their nose, marking with a praise or yes every time they stop going for treats and rewarding them. Okay, let's carry on. So we can do that self-control with food in the hands. It's not a leave it. I'm not telling them to leave it. They're learning that being patient pays off themselves. Do this in the hands. We can do this on the ground. We can do lots of similar games with Space Invaders to help improve our dog's frustration tolerance and help them understand that, you know, they can't always get things immediately. And with disengagement, we can work on similar exercises where can we, at a distance, walk them past the snuffle mat on the ground? Can they disengage from it without fixating on it? Can we do mat training? Mat training is a great option that is available on YouTube and in the guides where you teach your dog to settle on a mat. It isn't like a stay. It isn't like a, a commanded thing. They learn to relax on that mat, and that being on the mat is more valuable than following you. And then we can add in lots of distractions like dropping treats, like walking away, running away, going to the front door. We can do a lot of different things to help them understand that they don't need to fixate and follow and obsess over that. Actually, just disengaging, switching off will help massively. So these can be really good things to help, along with that, to support that frustration tolerance and that disengagement. We can also do like separations on walks where you practice really deliberately when you don't need to be separated, where you're walking together and then person without a dog walks off a few steps, person with dog rewards the dog, and then person who left comes back. And you're just going to and fro on your walks just to get them used to the idea that this happens, it's not a big deal, they don't need to worry. They don't need to get FOMO, fear of missing out. It's an okay situation. The problem is they're very good at observing us, and so they tend to understand we only do that if it's something they probably want to be involved in. So practicing that really deliberately on walks makes a massive difference. Just a few steps before they get anxious, come back and make sure the person who is handling the dog is rewarding them for staying with them. And that can make a really big difference on getting this sort of disengagement built up in other situations. Another way we can do this is using a flirt pole. We can use this to, it's a giant like cat teaser toy, it's a stick, rope, toy. We can use this to get them playing with a toy. And then can they stop and do the touch game or stop and go to a mat? There are lots of ways we can do this. Maybe they can just sit or drop the toy when you ask. The flirt pole is a great one for this. It's really important that we're not just looking not just as separation anxiety, but any behavior problem as just in itself, doesn't exist in itself. And this is where a lot of trainers and behaviorists go wrong, is they obsess over the issue and they don't look at the bigger picture. And the bigger picture is a really important part to consider, because that's why these problems have developed. A lack of confidence, a lack of disengagement, a lack of frustration tolerance. And if we're not training for those things along with our direct plan to deal with the problem behavior, that's where things can go a bit wrong. So this is really important to consider, to work on. Another really great supplement to your separation anxiety work is scent work. Do some scent games when you leave, before you leave the house. Do them when they're a bit over aroused. This could be hiding a treat, or it could be like proper scent work. I'm not sure I like that phrase. Where they're just sniffing, for Kong or cloves or something like that. So that was my very quick 10 minutes Facebook Live on how we can support separation anxiety with disengagement and frustration tolerance. Apologies for the glitches. Apologies if all you heard was budgies. If all you heard was budgies, this is getting repeated later and I'm going to try again. If there are any techie people in here, I'm meant to have the crisp AI background remover on. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Please, if you have any ideas, give them to me. I hope if you watch this, like most of you are going to be watching this back later, if you have any questions, just give me a shout. You can get support directly if you need like tailored support to your dog. I do Zoom one-to-ones, behavior packages, as well as the school for Whippets, where you can train anytime to suit you with all the video lessons at your disposal anytime. I hope this has been helpful, and give me a shout if I can help in any way. Bye! It always takes a moment to click. It does.